deli is full of all of these little shops selling sweets, and I just loved them as a little afternoon snack. I'm making one of my favourites today, and it's called Barfi. It's a milk-based slice that's filled with coconut, slightly softer than a fudge, and really easy to put together. So what we start off with is by flavouring up some milk. 1 tablespoon, and adding to that one of my favourite ingredients, saffron. So just about half a teaspoon of saffron threads in our milk, just soaking, and the colour will start to leach out of them, and so will the flavour. This ingredient, so they say, is more expensive by weight than gold because it takes, 200,000 plants to make 1 little kilo of this stuff. Even though it's really expensive by weight, you hardly use very much of it at all, so it's still quite accessible. And already you can start to see that some of that beautiful sort of saffron-y colour coming out of the small little threads. The rest of our milk gets heated up, and I'm using 200 mils. Just bring that up to a boil. I've left the saffron sitting in its cool milk so that the flavour starts to come out and it doesn't get boiled out, if you like. I'm just moving that around so that that doesn't form a skin on it. And once that's come up to the boil, we can just turn it down so that it's more of a simmer. And if you need to, you can also just lift your pot off the element to quickly cool that down so it doesn't scald, really. That's what we're trying to avoid. Now we add our sugar, 1.5 cups. We can just stir that through. And now you can begin to see that it's actually quite thick. And we're almost making a syrup out of our milk and our sugar. Now I'll add my other flavours, and those are cardamom pods. Split the pod so that those seeds are a little bit exposed, and that way the seeds can start to really imbue their beautiful flavour into the milk and the sugar mixture. And I now just want that to simmer for about 6 to 8 minutes, I suppose, really until the whole of the surface has got quite small bubbles on the top, and that will mean it's thickened up nicely. Got to keep a little bit of an eye on it because sugar can burn, and I want this to be a white dessert. It doesn't really go to a golden colour or anything. It's milky, it's white, it's full of that coconut, it's pure. And at this stage when it starts to thicken up, I am so tempted to get in there with a finger or have a little taste, and it's just such a stupid thing to even think because this is boiling sugar, but the temptation seems almost overwhelming at times. I think it's time to add my coconut. 2 cups of shredded coconut. If you can't find fresh, just use the desiccated coconut. There's no problem with that. And in we go. Give this a quick stir before you think about your saffron because it starts to go very thick very quickly. Oh, look at that. It's like coconut ice. If any of you made that as a kid, I used to love coconut ice, which basically was sugar and coconut boiled together, a bit of butter. Quite a low temperature at this stage, but just want to gently fry this off. But again, not really getting any colour in there, just really heating the coconut up and cooking it through a little bit. And then we'll just take that off the heat for a moment and we'll stir through our saffron. That's now got some beautiful colour on it. Make sure you get all the little bits of liquid gold in there, not leaving a thread left. The saffron is a beautiful fragrance too. There's nothing quite like it. I don't know, the only way I can describe it is to really say that it smells like yellow. So now I just want to bring that just up to the heat again to make sure that that little bit of extra cooled milk also comes up. What I like about making barfi is that there's not a lot of ingredients in there, but all of them are quite big hitters. You've got your milk, your sugar, your saffron, your cardamom, coconut. They're big flavours and they all come together in this lovely, intense, sweet delight. Goodie. So let's get this into our little tray. And I've greased my dish so that it's just a little bit easier to get it out once it's set. I'm just going to smooth that into a nice even layer. You can leave your cardamom in there and fish them out if you're pedantic about it, but I don't bother. That needs to set. Now you can set it overnight in the fridge, or in my case I like to set it quickly so I can eat it quickly, so into the freezer. So I just want to leave that in there until it's cooled down and firmed up, and then the barfi is ready to cut into squares, decorate and eat. Oh, that looks set nicely. You'll be happy for greasing the dish here so that it comes out just a little bit more easily. And if it doesn't, you can just heat up the dish with a little bit of hot water on the bottom if perchance it doesn't come out. But I'm going to sort of wing it and see if it will. Success, I think. Yay! You'll often see Indian sweets decorated with edible silver or gold leaf, but I don't ever seem to have some of that in the house, so we're using pistachio nuts today. I'm just going to crush those just ever so slightly. And the saltiness of a pistachio is really great if you've got an intensely sweet dessert, because it sort of balances that out a little bit. Sprinkle liberally. Yum. The moment of truth to slice. Oh, and you can feel the texture of it. Sort of quite mushy, still a little bit firm though. And you really want to cut these quite small because they are very intensely sweet and you don't want to kill yourself or your friends. So just tiny little tastes is best when it comes to an Indian sweet, I think. And these are fabulous in the afternoon with a little cup of tea. Let's have a little try. These are just magnificent because with really simple ingredients, they manage to taste really exotic from a far-off land. I love them.